You ready? Let's go. 2-minute daily Devo for Wednesday, January 4th. I'm in the New International Version today, and our verse of the day comes from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. Here's what it says. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Our verse today is what's called a youth pastor special. I know there isn't a youth pastor that's ever preached to a bunch of teenagers that has not gone to Jeremiah 29:11, because it's such a verse that brings such hope and such excitement and such a glimpse for a good future for people. But here's the thing. You need to know the context of when this verse was spoken to God's people. God's people at the time, the Israelites, were in captivity, and they had been there for a long time, and it was going to be a long time until then. It was one of those instances where the Old Testament, where the Israelites had turned their backs on God and they had started to worship other gods. And so God said, okay, if you're not going to listen, he allowed other nations to come in and to attack them and take them captive. And this is a time that they are in captivity when God speaks this verse. This is a time when they're at the lowest point in their lives, where they're thinking there is no hope, that I can't see a future. It's dark. But God says this, I haven't forgot about you. And God says, because they cried out to him, and God says, in the middle of your situation, in the middle of your problems, I have not forgot about you. All you have to do is turn to me. And here's the plan. He says, I have a plan for you, God says. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. I don't know what situation you're in right now, and I don't know how dark your situation may seem. I don't know how desperate you are in your situation or problem. But let me tell you this. God has a future for you. God has a plan for you. God has a hope. All he's asking is that you turn to him. Turn to him, and God says, hey, I'm right there for you. I have a plan, a future, and a hope. All you have to do is turn to me, and I want to help you. That's the kind of God that we serve. It doesn't matter if the situation that we've got ourselves in is our own fault. The Israelites were the ones at fault. They're the ones that got themselves into this situation, into captivity. God says it doesn't matter. I still have a future, a good one. I still have great plans for you. All you have to do is turn to me. So I want to encourage you, wherever you're at right now, if you're in a situation that you just don't know how to get out of, and it's problems, and there's trouble, and it's dark, and it's hopeless, turn to God, because God will say this to you. I have good plans for you, a plan to give you prosperity and a good future. All right, that's it, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.